G'day guys, welcome back. I'm going to just show you how I clean my paintings before I varnish them. Now I don't use resin, so I'm not that particular at getting every little bit of oil off because I varnish with a gloss medium. Now, this is a global, but Liquitex do them as well. There's a Liquitex gloss medium. Anything like that will work. This one says gloss medium and varnish, but as long as it says gloss medium, I've used that before and it works well. Don't shake these before you pour from them, otherwise you get a lot of bubbles. So I'm just going to put that aside for a minute. Now I don't know if I'm not sure if you're going to be able to actually see the oil on this. There's a big blob there, some more there. This has had treadmill silicone on it. I'll try and catch that shining in the sun for you. Hopefully that's working. So anyway, what I do is I use either baby wipes or face wipes, to take your makeup off. So that's what I use. I'll take one of those out. And I'm just going to cover the whole thing, wipe the whole thing over. You can sort of feel where the oil is. It sort of has a bit of a resistance when I wipe. I'll turn it over and use the other side. Comes up nice when it's wet, doesn't it? So just go over that. Doesn't matter if you get a little bit of paint colour coming off. There's a tiny little bit of pink on there. Not concerned about that. I only did this one about a week ago maybe, and then go over it again with a clean one. Comes up really pretty when it's wet. Look at that gold shining there. Go over it again. Make sure you do the sides as well, because you're going to have varnish on your sides as well, aren't you? So make sure that the whole thing's been wiped over a couple of times with your wipe. There we go. So, can't see any oil left on it, but I'll let it dry and then check it again. Obviously, if you're going to be using resin, you need to clean it a lot better. Dish soap, warm water, you might have to do it a few times. All right, so we'll put that one aside. So that was that red one I did, Valentine. Put that guy aside for now, because I need to wait till it's dry totally before I can varnish it. So we have this little one here. This was that first glue and water one that I did that I was really happy with. And then this one is my other mix, my 3-2-1/4. That's also lovely and dry, come up really nice. I actually don't know which I prefer. I do like the cells on this, but I really like the way I can drag down and get my background with this mix. So they're just different. Kind of heading in this direction though, just for composition wise. This is just a massive cells. Hasn't really got much composition. This is more composition, more interesting for me. Anyway, so I am going to varnish. I'll do one at a time. Let's do the bright one first, hey? Do this one first. So, let me put my gloves on because it's quite sticky, this gloss varnish. And I've also got my spreading tool handy. I'll just give it a bit of a clean actually, make sure there's no paint on it. Give it a good wipe over. Okay. Okay, so that's that guy there. And I've got a cup. I personally prefer to do 2 thinner coats than 1 thick coat of the gloss varnish. So I'm just going to show you how I mix it, just to thin it. It is pretty thin anyway. Pour it into here so you can see the consistency. It's just like pouring out milk, really. Not sure how much I'm going to need. Just pop that there. I need to just get my water. I just use normal tap water. And I'm just going to pour a blob in like that. Not a lot. Just enough to thin it out a little bit. Now don't go crazy with your stirring, because you don't want to add bubbles. So as I said, I prefer to do 2 thinner coats. Add a bit of water to it, pour it on, let it dry. If it's too thick, it can puddle and crack. I have seen that before. When it's too thick, it's just cracked. Now if you've got a few bubbles, that's okay, because I'm going to torch anyway. And having that little bit of water in there as well just helps it flow better. And it wasn't a lot, it was just a little blob of water. Okay, so let's pour this on, and if I don't have enough, I'll just make up a little bit more. So it flows really nicely. Make sure it goes on my puppy piddle pad, because it's really sticky stuff, this. Now all I'm going to do is, I'm going to tilt a little bit first. See how it's flowing really well? I don't want to go over the edges just yet. I just want to spread it as much as possible. If it goes over, that's okay. This is pouring, isn't it? And this is how I varnish mine. I actually tilt like this, like I'm pouring. There's a hair. There's a hair in there. There we go. Must have been on the canvas. So, well, actually you can. I might even just tilt and not use my little spatula this time, because I've got plenty on here. I'll just do a tilt for you, as if you were tilting a dirty paw. Make sure the whole surface is covered. If you find you don't have enough to cover the whole thing, like that little corner there, you can use this. But for the sake of today, where I'm just going to do the pour and tilt, let's add a little bit more of our gloss varnish, and then the tiniest little bit of water. And give that a stir. See, I have got some bubbles, but that's okay. I'll torch those in a minute, and they'll all be gone. Let's go around the edges. There we go. Make sure that all the sides have been tilted over. It's a little bit just there. You can pick up some off the, this is my puppy piddle pad here. You can pick it up off that and just pop it on the sides. Right, let's get to this little corner here that hasn't got any varnish on it. Over it goes. And oops, it's slippery. Tilt the other way. And I don't want to leave too much on here, so I'm happy to tilt it right over. Cover the edges, other edges as well. Need to get to this corner here. Pick some up and dab it there. All right, so that's pretty much, have I gone over? Maybe just a little bit missing there on that corner, and you can see that it's not really flowing very much anymore on the surface. So you know, you can sort of tell if you've got a good even coverage on how it's flowing. So that's pretty good. And then just leave it there. Okay, now I'm going to pop some bubbles, and then I'll make sure that my sides are all done. So yes, it does look milky. No, I haven't ruined it. Pop all the little bubbles that you can see. Even if you can't see bubbles, go over the whole thing. Make sure that everything is popped. Go over it again, up and down. Make sure there's no bubbles at all. Alright, I think that's it. Where I had a big bubble there that I've popped, you can just pop a little bit of gloss varnish onto that. Anywhere else that you think needs a little bit from having a bubble popped, you can just add it on now while it's still wet, and it will just smooth over. Won't be a problem. A little drop that I just put in has got a bubble in it. Okay. And then just make sure that you've done all your edges. This is going to have another coat as well, so don't be too concerned if you don't get all your edges first time round. Edges, the sides aren't that important, are they? I mean, we do need to cover them, but if you have got a few little blank spots, you can pick up what's left over in your cup and put them on, or you can use one of these little spatulas to pick up some of the leftovers. Don't go across in case you drip. And just pop it on the sides, as I do with my paint when I'm covering my sides. Just do the same thing. Pop it on, let it drip down. So we'll let this dry, and then you don't have to wait a week. You can just wait till it's dry, maybe 2 days, and then do another coat. Same as before, thin it down, pour it on, tilt it over, and you're done. It's very easy, it really is. You just have to make sure that you don't put it on too thick so it doesn't crack. I have poured this with this gloss medium and varnish before when I haven't thinned it, and it's been fine. Let me see if I can find it. This one here. I did a video on that one. That's just got one coat of the thicker, same thing, gloss medium and varnish. That's just got the one coat, and it's gorgeous. Nice and shiny. So you can do it that way. But for the sake of this experiment, I'm just going to show you what 2 coats looks like. And you do get a very smooth, shiny, finished product. Now, I'm just going to come around here, see if I've missed anywhere. I think that's pretty good. Don't think I've missed anything. And then the last thing you need to do is go around the bottom, catching your drips. Because this stuff dries really thick and sticky, so you don't want any drips accumulating underneath. So that's it. Hope you've enjoyed that video. You can't really use this cup again because what's in there is going to dry rock hard and really sticky. So you could rinse it out now with hot soapy water, and use it again in a couple of days, but you can't really use it again if you haven't rinsed it out. Let's pop another little blob there. Okay, so that's looking good. I'll splice a couple of videos together so that you can see the finished product. So yeah, it looks very milky and white at the moment, and you can see that it's thicker in the middle. Obviously the canvas is sagging a tiny little bit in the middle, but it's okay. That's why I've only got a thin coat. It has got a little bit of water added to it, so it's not terribly thick. So it should be fine. It won't crack. Cross fingers. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I'm back. This is actually a couple of weeks later because I went away on my cruise and I thought I'd let the first coat dry really well. So it's just been sitting here on my table, so I'm going to give it a bit of a wipe with just a clean paper towel just to make sure there's no dust on it, because as I said, it has been sitting in the studio here for a couple of weeks while I've been away and it's been drying. So there we go. Now for the second coat we'll do exactly the same thing I'm using the Global Gloss Medium and Varnish, but you can use a Liquitex Medium and Varnish or whatever brand you want. Don't shake it because you don't want bubbles in it. It's very sticky, so make sure you've got your gloves on. And I'm going to pour some into the cup here. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need, but we'll do about half a cup to start with. And I've just got plain tap water in here. Just going to give that a bit of a squirt. Just a squirt. And a stick for stirring. So don't go crazy with the stirring. You don't want to get too many air bubbles in there. Give it a good stir. So there's a few bubbles sitting on top already, but that's okay. I'm going to torch the bubbles anyway and we'll make sure they're all popped. So this is lovely. I think the purple has really come up more. I think before I varnished it had more black in it, but since I varnished it, the purples really seem to have come up to the surface. I don't know if you can see how shiny it is, but it's lovely and shiny. Kind of feels a bit plasticky too. So that's that first layer on. So do exactly the same with the second. I've got my big tool for spreading if I need it. I've got my little tool for doing the sides. Hopefully I'll have enough just to pour it on and tilt it off. Let's go. So yes, goes on white, clears dry, clears dry, dries clear, as you can see. All right, now let's get to tilting. I won't take it right over yet. I want to cover as much as I can. That little bubble there. Cover as much as I can first before I worry too much about the sides. All right, that can run off now. And that can run off. Come back down this way. And over you go. And just this last little corner, you can see where the medium is. Leaves a big sort of darker white puddle, so you can see where you're going with it. Now let me have a look and see if everything's covered. And again, the same as with flip cups, you will have some wastage because you need that extra to actually go around all your sides. And I personally don't like to brush it on. If you brushed it on, you would have less paint, obviously, not all this wastage, but you'll see brush strokes. So for the sake of losing a little bit of medium, I think it's a much better result. And you can see that there's quite a lot still there. See, it's quite dark. So I'm going to just tilt off a little bit more. I don't want the risk of it cracking if you leave too much on there. You can see how it's all moving down there. You want it to look like the same colour all the way along. You don't want to see like a big thick band of white somewhere. Probably didn't need half a cup of mixture. So just keep spreading it until it won't spread anymore. You can see how there's the white band there. Go over the edge there. So yeah, just keep spreading it until it won't go anymore. And then you know that you've got a good coverage. As I said, don't leave it on too thick. I have left it on too thick once before and it's cracked. Just in the one section. I think it was in the middle where it kind of pulled a bit. If you're doing a big canvas, pop something underneath to support it. Where's my bamboo stick? Pop. Pretty good result actually, not too many bubbles. I'll go over with the heat gun just to make sure there's no more. And my sides are all covered. And because it's the second coat, you don't have to be so pedantic about your sides because they got covered in the first layer. So this is not moving anymore. I can't see, maybe a little bit. I can't really see much of a wave of it moving. So I know that I've got pretty much all of it off and I've just got a thin layer left on it, which is what you want. Don't leave too much on. And I'm just bringing it back to the center again. Okay, that is pretty much it. I can see that there's a little bit more in the middle there, but it's certainly not a huge amount, so I'll leave it like that. Give it a light torching everywhere. Make sure we're popping all the bubbles. I think that's got it. Must have been a bubble there. Let's just pop a little bit more just there, where that little divot happened. Must have had a bit of a bubble there. And there as well, there's a little bubble there. So just pop a little bit more there to cover up that little divot. Just a drop. Over it goes. It'll level out. You don't need to be too worried about that. It will level itself out. Okay, and that is it for the second coat. Would like to put something underneath, just to stop it pooling. I probably should have done that beforehand. Under this canvas is just a little timber bar. Don't know if this will fit. This is, yeah, that's going to be too wide. Need something little that I can pop under there. What can I use? I'll cut one of these in half. Just cut one of these in half and see if I can use a bit of this. This is my thick card. There we go. Better put my glove back on again, hadn't I? As I said, this is awful sticky stuff. Now, I'm just going to lift that up, come around here. Actually, this one hasn't got a bar. I don't know why. No, It hasn't got a bar. It must be a different brand. That's okay. I haven't left too much on there. It should be fine. All right. That's it for step 2. And I'll give it a couple of days and then I'll come back and show you the dried final painting. Okay, see you for the next one. So this is 2 days later now, and it's lovely and dry. I did put a folded up puppy pedal pad underneath just to stop any pooling. So that's that. These are great. Put them underneath to catch drips, support your canvas from underneath as well, and I can reuse that. Now, I don't know if I can show you the finish on it. I'm going to try. So I've brought the camera around this side. I don't know that you can actually pick it up. I'm just getting big white blotches everywhere from the sun coming in. But that's it anyway, finished, 2 coats. It's really smooth and shiny. No, I don't think I can really pick up the shine very much at all. Maybe there. How about that? Yeah, that's pretty good. You can see the shine there, I think. So, looks good. You can see my unicorn on the other side, upside down. That's for another video. Okay. Anyway, so there you go, 2 coats. And happy with it. Has a nice sort of a plasticky feel to it, rather than just a canvas feel. I'll take you in for a close-up. Going the wrong way, aren't I? Alright, so finished product, really pretty. So there you go, easy way to varnish a canvas. Hope you enjoyed that video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and you can see the unicorn that's coming up shortly, and all my other videos. So please subscribe, join the Australian Acrylic pouring group, and you can catch up with me and all the other pourers from Australia and all over the world on our lovely group. Beautiful, beautiful. Love it. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.